Hey guys, I think it's time to start. So what I'm going to do today is, I'm going to play this by ear. So if any of you want to ask questions about the tool, because maybe you've already seen the user guide, and I think it's very simple and self-explanatory, right? So it's step by step. You can figure it out for yourselves. But if there's any questions that you have related to the configuration and setup of the tool, just raise your hand and we can probably get into the Q&A right away, because I'm not entirely sure if it makes sense to go through the entire process on video when it's all in the user guide. So we could probably start with that if anyone has any questions with that. And what we'd like to do, and you can keep your questions coming, you can just tap it in the, type it in the chat, or raise your hand and you can, ask the question and we'll answer the question straight away. And what we'd like to do is, maybe to make better use of everyone's time, we can get into showing you the features of the tool itself. So we'll show that to you on the screen, and we can go through the spot and futures trading functions. So I hope that's okay. And if any of you think that I need to go through the entire setup, no problem, I can do that. Just let me know. But does anyone have any questions related to the tool? I'm guessing it was fairly straightforward, but maybe there's something that we missed. You can just raise your hand or type in your question in the chat. And if there's no questions, I'll move on. Assume everyone has understood. Okay. Doesn't look like there's any questions here. So maybe what I'll do is go to the main screen. So over here, this is just a quick run through. We've got the, if you go to getting started in the link that we sent, it tells you exactly what to put in terms of your username and password. Obviously, this is something that you need to keep safe, only because nobody has access to this. We don't have it. It's encrypted. It's on your computer. So it's something that basically you'll need to remember. Otherwise, you'll need to reconfigure the tool by doing this. This is where you will find, your software. You'll actually you'll have to reconfigure it. So this is fairly straightforward. You might have seen. I'm going to play it very quickly for you. I'm going to scrub through this. So your username, password, you confirm password, and you accept the terms and conditions. If you want to see what the terms and conditions are, you can click this link. It goes directly to our website where the terms and conditions are listed. You cannot actually install without accepting the terms. So that's an important bit. So this one's as simple as that. Then it shows you the main screen. It goes directly to the main screen at the end. That's when you know that you've done this correctly, and then it goes to the main screen of the software. Moving on from this, if we go to the next bit, Nasir, let me know if someone's raised their hand or asked a question, because I'm just looking at the screen. Yeah.
Sure, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Over here, when you are putting in your API key and your secret key, what you're doing is you go to the settings, and in the settings, you have your CAX APIs. So that's where you start, right? When you say add API over here, it'll prompt you to enter your username and password again. This is just a security feature so that someone is not able to tamper with your settings when you're not around. Yeah, and you choose the exchange that you want, and to get the API key and the secret key, depending on the exchange that you're using, you'd be able to Google that or go onto their website and find a tutorial or some information on how to add the API key, or how to get the API key and the secret key and then add it over here. One thing you need to remember is you should actually remember to specify that you want spot trading and futures trading when you do this. Yeah. So that's important before you actually enter the API keys over here. So moving on from here, that's where you see you can see the CX APIs. It shows you that the API is over here. Now, even though you can see the API key over here, it's truncated, you can see this. That's because most of it is encrypted. So when you look at this actually isn't the entire secret key and the API key. This is actually truncated for security again, and then it's encrypted on your system. Now, when you go to wallet, this is something that we mentioned in our notes over here. For the payment subscription wallet public address and the private key as well, the private key field is not in here because we recorded this before we added that feature where you had to actually put in the private key as well. Both of these, well, the wallet that you use for your subscriptions and the wallet that you use for the XTP domain name could be the same wallet, but we recommend that you don't use it for anything else. So not for, you're holding your other tokens and stuff like that. Keep it exclusively for this is what we recommend, just for security reasons. Everything over here is step by step and pretty straightforward. If there's any questions, please feel free to ask. I'll move now to buying a domain name. So why do you need a domain name in the first place? So one is you need this domain name because it's an identifier and it tells us that it is you who are trading, like that domain is connecting to our servers into the exchange, and basically we can identify that the subscription, however long you've paid it for, belongs to this domain. So that's an identifier. That's the reason why we have this domain. Now, this is again fairly straightforward process. One thing I'd like to say is just be a little patient with, when you initiate the transactions or you hit a button. It might take a while to process and it might seem like nothing's happening, but just be patient. Obviously, in these screens, it doesn't show when the wallet extension pops up, because that's when we're doing a screen recording, we are recording this specific screen, so it doesn't show that screen. And also for privacy reasons, we're not showing the wallet, but that's what eventually happens, right? When you click this, it'll show your wallet extension pop up. That's where you've got to confirm the transactions. And again, all of this is very step by step over here. So once you've actually purchased your domain name, you move to the next bit, which is the XTsunami subscription payment and XTP domain name setting. So you've got to obviously pay for the subscription before you use it. Now, you guys who are in the top 121 get 30 days free use of it. So we pay the fees directly to the subscription contract. So you are already pre-qualified, so to speak. I mean, not yet, but when we do that. But for everyone else, and eventually when the 30 days runs out, that's what you'll do. You'll actually go pay for your subscription over here. And again, very simple, regular, like you choose your wallet, you go through the paces, then it says extend, you decide how long you want to extend for. You check the amount of XTT that you're going to be spending. If you don't like this number, you can change it to a lower duration, whatever you're comfortable with, and then hit enable. When you enable this, again, you've got to confirm it, and then in the wallet extension, and then again it says contract enabled. You hit confirm again over here in the pop-up, and then again in the wallet extension. Yeah, I'm just going to speed this up a bit. Then you come to your domain name setting. So this is how we know that it is this particular domain that is being used for this particular subscription. So you go back, take your domain name from your XTP, or you might just remember it and enter it over here. Again, that takes a little bit of time to update, so be patient. And it says setting successful. Then you go back and look at all of your parameters over here. This is something that you might want to make a note of. The start and end time is always going to be based on, whenever you started and how many days you paid for. Another important thing to note is that the clock's always ticking. So whether or not you're using the tool, whatever you've paid is for a certain duration of time. It starts from the time that you pay. So let's say you've taken 3 or 5 days or whatever, and you don't trade for 2 days, you lose those 2 days. So that's something important to remember. That's basically it. I know I rushed through this bit, but I think it's really very simple in the user guide. So if there's anything else anyone wants to ask at this point, please do so. So I don't think there's any questions yet. I think we did a good job with the user guides. So I think we might be able to use this time for something more interesting, like showing you the this spot and futures interface and taking you through some of the functions and stuff like that. Yeah, and guys, we're going to try and share that. Just give us a second.
Okay, so I've made on co-host, which means you should be able to share okay now.
Okay. When you finish testing, you will see that software will get the data from our system and also from the exchange that you want to connect to. So on the screen, that is the future window where you can execute the future order. You can interact directly with the exchange, right? Sorry, 1 minute. Okay, so this is the future, right? You can I don't know if anyone of you have experience with the future. So I think it will take some time for us to organize different training class or to guide you on how to use functionality on with window. For example, I want to close the transaction. I will need to click on market or close on position, right? Okay. So I will stop sharing the future window and go to the spot window.
Yeah, obviously we will cover all of this in more depth when we are doing the actual training sessions after this. I mean, after today's session.
So this is a spot window that allow you to execute the spot order. And we have the spot trading bot, and also we have the future trading bot, two different bot systems that will be the assistant or like the one that helps you to be more quantitative, like you want trade with your feeling about the market or any token you trade with more
logically.
more accurate, yeah, kind of removing your emotion and of fear every time you place an order or waiting for the result. But for more detail, I think better for us to organize different training class, like weekly class, to cover all of this functionality. And we also spend our time to write user guide for all of these windows.
Yeah. So the next step for us in the user guide is actually to list what functions this has. So we will talk about the various sections of this, and the functions that um, exist in the spot and the futures trading, so that you understand what these buttons do. Otherwise, it's just a whole bunch of buttons which may be a bit overwhelming. So we'll actually get to that point later. If there's any questions at this point about either spot or futures, we don't. I think someone just asked if Din Luyen just asked if you can go and start trading. Okay, technically, if you have the XCT to pay for the subscription fees and you've already done that, technically you could start, but we suggest that you wait until we do the next session and you understand how to trade and what to look out for, and how to execute those specific trades, whether it's spot futures or anything